Motorcycle Adventure Dirt Bike TV is proudly supported by Adventure Spec in England, Rally Ray Products, Giant Loop in the United States and Adventure Moto in Australia. These days, when we think adventure bike, we think big twin, lots of money, lots of weight, and for most average riders, keeping to easy trails. But big isn't always the best, and if you're into dirt-oriented adventure, then we might have the bike for you. Today, we test the Yamaha WR 250R trail bike that has been set up for adventure. The test involves a loop of highway, blacktop, twin and challenging single trail.
There wouldn't be many riders that could do this on an 800 or 1200.
The adventure setup of the bike was developed by Greg Yeager of rideadv.com.au. Greg is the manager of a successful adventure touring company in Australia that use Yamahas as rental bikes. In the past 2 years, Greg has worked tirelessly at perfecting the ultimate Yamaha 250 for adventure. Greg's bikes come with standard fare for serious adventure: a big 17-litre tank, soft seat for those long miles, a windscreen that pushes the buffeting wind off your chest, a bash plate, bark busters, luggage racks, GPS holder and charging points, and suspension beefed up to take the extra weight of gear and still perform. We headed straight into the forest and up a dirt hill, and I was pleasantly surprised by the willingness of the engine and the lightness of the bike and the way it handled the occasional pothole and small washout. The bike could comfortably cruise these types of roads all day. We stopped by a rocky outcrop for some slow motion action, and Greg reminded me that although we were riding a very capable trail bike that was set up for adventure, no dirt capability had been lost in this conversion. The long travel suspension, high ground clearance, spoked wheels, dirt tyres, they were all there. And having fun and potentially coming off didn't mean an expensive parts or hospital bill. Back on the dirt road and Greg upped the pace, and I learnt my first lesson. To get the best out of this engine, you've got to rev it.
The strength of this WR250R is the engine. Fuel injected, it's a low compression engine with a 6-speed gearbox. It's reliable as the day is long, and we've given these things an absolute hiding and they've never missed a beat. Highest mileage one I think was about 17,000 k's before we traded it all, sold it on, and all of our bikes are pre-sold before we get to the point of selling them. If someone wants them, it's a testament to how good they are. We check the valves when we get the bikes before we put the tanks on when they're brand new, and we check them again when we sell them. And we've never made a valve adjustment to a single bike yet.
Then out onto the blacktop where the 6th gear made its impression. The bike cruises along easily at 90 k's, but can maintain higher speeds for longer distances. Whilst Greg assures me it can sit all day on 110 k's, I'm not used to cruising with an engine revving that high. Mind you, it did it without hesitation. I guess it's just personal preference. After all, it is a 250. Onto some single trail where all the bike's strengths came to the fore. This is what it's designed to do, and it does it well. Then some more twin trail, and the pace started to increase, and I quickly discovered how capable, sure-footed and fun this bike could be. We were wringing the little engine's neck, and it was coming back for more. As the trail got rougher, the suspension showed it was more than up to the task. That unique balance between soaking up the bumps and maintaining traction and not bottoming out, or the stroke pushing through the fork, had been reached. The Technic suspension boys had done their job well. The bike felt poised and well balanced.
Hey!
In the iconic motorcycle movie On Any Sunday, it was called cow trailing. Now, it's not been included in the tests of adventure bikes in the past, but on this hot summer's day, cow trailing and the odd water crossing were cool relief from the heat. Back out onto the open trail, and I zoomed past Greg and gave him the magic wiggle sign. My intention was to get him wet, but that little plan backfired on me big time. In the afternoon, conditions alternated between dirt road and blacktop, and I got to thinking, this bike is really a capable all-rounder. But before we hit the freeway, I thought I'd give it one more dose of seriously tough single trail, and the bike didn't disappoint.
Well, just before we hit the freeway, I'm going to take on one of the most technical bits of the Waddingans. My favourite piece of rock shells. Doing this on an 800. There wouldn't be many riders that could do this on an 800 or 1200. Oh, fuck! Little test that was, but she came out shiny. The only thing left is a bit of cruising on the freeway to see how she goes. This has been a fair dinkum test of the Yamaha WR 250R. You know what? This is a classic adventure bike, well worth considering.
Finally, the transport section home on the freeway. I did what Greg told me to do, and I revved that willing little engine and kept up with the freeway traffic. Mind you, there were times when I thought that piston might come off the crank and hit me in the groin. The screen kept the wind off my chest and reduced the buffeting, and the seat was still soft and comfortable. Yes, freeway riding was a weakness of the bike when compared to my big single. But there were just so many other strengths, it would be difficult to find a more capable dirt-oriented adventure bike. It had been a fun day. Greg and I had ridden a great little adventure, and I couldn't help but think of all those newcomers to our sport fixated on purchasing a big twin and not really sitting down and thinking what kind of adventure they really want.
Tell me about the Technic suspension, Greg.
We've undergone 2 years of development on this suspension, the KYB front forks with Nick at Technics and the rear shock absorber. We just did a recent Simpson trip and we spent a whole heap of time with Nick at Technics doing some development on the dyno, and as you've seen today, these bikes are just, they don't fatigue you, they soak everything up no matter what speed you're going, and they handle it all and keep you fresh and safe. And bikes don't do anything unpredictable. I'm amazed at how good the suspension is.
I can't get the smile off my face. Greg Yeager's taken me out on the Yamaha WR 250R. It's a cracker of a bike. I've really enjoyed riding this. It's a worthy contender to be considered for adventure riding, particularly those who are more dirt oriented. One of the things with adventure riding is you're always fighting fatigue, and anything that makes that easier is worthwhile. What I really loved about this bike was the screen. It takes the air just below your helmet, and just takes away the buffeting. Seat concept seat, just brilliant, very comfortable. I don't have a sore ass, and believe me, we've done some wonderfully long miles today in some very varied terrain. Engine, the engine is a willing contender. It just revs its little heart out. I could see myself riding this internationally, wouldn't have a problem with it at all. And their reliability is, as you've witnessed through Greg, who's been using these bikes for years and years, they're just incredibly reliable and bulletproof. So, Yamaha WR 250R gets my thumbs of approval. It's been adventure spec, and it's a great bike, and you really should consider it. Oh yeah, that's a pleasing image. Gotta be happy with that. It's a fucking good camera. Alright, so I'll just stop because I was recording then. That could become a blooper.
Good camera.
One of the things with adventure riding is you're always, what's that word? I've got that word. It wears you out, fatigue.
Yeah. It's on the sign behind it.
One of the things with